If you're listening right now to the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast, we know something about you. We know that you're obsessed with Little House on the Prairie.
For more than half a century, Little House on the Prairie, the series and the books have been bright lights for people all over the world who seek out goodness, decency, and human connection.
Here on the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast, we celebrate everything that made Little House so special.
The stories, the characters, the actors, and the messages that have made Little House iconic family television.
And a perfect counterpoint to a world that feels like it's going off the rails every day.
Where is Michael Landon when we need him most? I'm your host, Pamela Bob.
And I'm your prairie bitch, Alison Arngrim.
And I'm Dean Butler.
Our hashtag imaginary boyfriend. Join us for our loving, quirky, and often irreverent conversations about the finest family drama in the history of television.
And the imperfect people who made it that way.
In this third season, we are extremely grateful for the support of VisitSeeMeValley.com for their continuing sponsorship of Little House on the Prairie and the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast. Hello, bonnet heads. Well, what a day today is. Hi, I'm your host, Pamela Bob, creator and star of Livin' on a Prairie and superfan, here with our sneaky, sneaky little prairie bitch. I'll explain why in a second. It's Alison Arngrim. God, I hate you so much. And our hashtag imaginary boyfriend, Dean Butler. Well,
no,
how's
Pamela,
it going?
no one was withholding on you to. I think this. Well, Alison, I mean, they put when you told me a year ago because you couldn't resist anymore.
It was need to know, and it was getting close. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but Pamela, in terms of not telling you, there was so much pressure around keeping all of this a secret?
Of course there was. Yes,
Yeah.
of course. And if the audience doesn't know what we're talking about, let me just
person to know.
Okay. Let me just say today, the day that we are recording this, is July 9th. It is the premiere day for the new Netflix Little House on the Prairie. And of course, we watched the first two, because we're recording in the morning. So we got up early and we watched
5:30 a.m.
two
for
episodes.
me. Yeah.
Did you really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bonus
stayed
for
up.
me being a New York fan. You stayed up last night to watch it? That's awesome.
I stayed up. I went Facebook
We're tired,
Live.
everybody. We're tired. It's good prairie tired, though. So anyway, we watched just the first two episodes so far. But more importantly than that, little Miss Alison Arngrim has kept a major secret for an entire year. And I have to say, I got a phone call from her 3 days ago when she finally spilled the beans to me to let me know that she actually was indeed in episode 2 of the new Little House on the Prairie. And I just want to say that I am simultaneously pissed that I didn't know about it, and at the same time respect you so much that you have that much integrity and patience that you did keep this huge secret from me, except then when I heard you told Dean about 6 months ago. So now, who's the odd man out in this little trio? I see how it goes here. I can't believe you both knew and kept it from me. This is not okay. This is like a breach of our partnership.
Okay,
Wow.
you were like the 8th person, I think, on the planet to know. Okay, so like Bob knows, my husband, my agent knows, my publicist
Yes.
Harlan knows. Then it's like, okay, my two cousins in Canada, because my cousin Day lives in Winnipeg, and she was my cover story. I have to visit my cousin. She's very sick. And her son, they knew stuff before I did, because she lives in Winnipeg, and they were location scouting with the neighbors. So yeah. So okay. So that's what is it?
That's
so
5.
That's 5. Then who the hell else?
Did you say Harlan already?
Yes.
I told Dean, because we're getting closer, and I said, look, the press and everything, this is going to be need to know basis. You
and
have to need
Steve
to know.
Guest.
Steve Wishnoff guessed, because he's Nancy frickin' Drew Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah,
He just went, "You're going to Winnipeg. You're in the show. Damn it!" And I was like, "How did you?" Okay. And then just recently, I told Patrick because the French press called. And
Okay, so
that's
I'm
8.
9.
And then it's you. How many is that?
I'm not mad about it. 9 is
9.
my favorite number.
Okay,
Nine,
so
nine,
on
nine.
the Earth, and a couple of them only very recently. That on Earth, that's
And I
who
was
got.
very
Until
happy for you, and
anybody-
then I
until
wanted to kill you.
anybody.
I know, it's really
Well,
good. that
what
you
was
kept it.
I had lunch with we had, because we were talking about our Nashville event, had lunch. Mike Davidson and I had lunch with Trip Friendly, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, and it came up then, and it was he had learned that we knew, and all he begged for was that we not talk about it,
was gonna say,
in a
of
course.
public sense.
Trip told more people than I did. I just want you to know that this
Did
is
he
going
really?
on. I talked to Trip and I'm like, how many people did you tell? I said, you're worse than me. I said, loose lips. I said, I'm not telling anyone here. I'm lying bald faced to my friends. My friends go, no, seriously, are you in the show? No, not in the show. I said, Trip would tell him. I had to tell him, stop telling people. He was so
couldn't believe
excited.
it. I was like, I cannot believe. I mean, it's thoroughly impressive that you kept it from me for a year. And then when she was like, "Oh yeah, we totally talked while I was out there filming, and you didn't know," and
I was on
then
the
I
phone with
wanted
you
to
from
punch
my
a wall.
Yeah. I was calling you from Winnipeg.
I know. She's so shisty. So shisty. Okay, so how we're going right into it because we're not recapping another episode.
Right.
We're gonna talk about this new show and your experience, Allison,
Right.
because it's news to me that you did it. And you were so good. I was so proud of you when
You
saw
did a
this
really
morning.
nice job, Allison.
Thank
You did a really nice job.
Really.
You want to
good
do
job.
the thing from the studios?
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, all from the studios of
Oh, yes, good.
Go and Prairie Partners and visit seemevalley.com, and you, our patrons. What's up, y'all? This is the Little House on the Prairie 50th anniversary podcast Netflix special. Allison is a shisty girl.
You never. And see, the best part about this is from now on, you'll never know.
I know. I mean, listen, the good news is, my God, if you need someone to keep your secret, we know who to go to now. I know who to go to now.
Because I'm so everyone thinks I just say everything I know, and now you know I don't.
She's smart and shisty.
Which does
How
become
is
a
it-
little bit
how
more
is it for
formidable.
you
Yeah.
How is it for you, Dean, withholding from me? Withholding.
Because you didn't tell
From
her. You
me.
didn't rat. You didn't rat. I swore you to
I
secrecy.
cannot
blood oath,
believe you
but
looked
what are
me
you
in
gonna
the eye and didn't say
Catherine
anything.
didn't know until 2 days.
Oh, you didn't tell Cat. Wow, you're good.
I
You're
did
good.
not tell Catherine until 2 days. And Catherine's not a big
Okay, I
social
won't
media
feel as
person, but
offended
it was
then.
very clear that this could not go
No.
beyond.
Yeah,
That
my
was
business-
really, really important. So, okay, a few people, I'm very flattered that I knew, but yes, once the promise was made, there was no way that.
Well, it's because we had an event. We're planning events that are coming up, and I said, "Hey, I might kind of have a lot of press on the 9th. We need to talk about this."
There you go.
Yeah. Yes.
There you
It
go.
was the thing.
And you've
So,
been
yes.
wild
Yeah.
with press. So
It's been
yes.
cuckoo. My Google alerts like it's awesome. This is so fair. Okay, and Dean was kept in the dark for a while. We were on a conference call, Prairie Legacy, our little gang, and I said, "I think I have to go. I have a phone call," and it was Trip Friendly.
And this is a year ago. Over a year, a little over a year ago.
And I said, I have to go call. Okay, we're wrapping up. And I said, yeah, I got to go take this call. And I called, and it was Trip Friendly. And he said, what are you doing in the next couple of weeks? And would you like to come to Winnipeg? And I went, what? And I said, oh, I thought you said no. You Easter eggs with the cast. I thought, oh, yeah, like down the road. He's like, well, it's now. So what do we? And so, oh, hang on, get the agent on the other line. Bang, diddly bing, bong, bing. And next thing I know, I'm on a plane to Winnipeg. And I had the best cover story because I have family there. And I had people I needed to visit. I'm visiting my cousin. Whatever do you mean? Why I'm in Winnipeg? So, yeah. And it was absolutely bonkers. And I did get recognized in the airport on the way
You
back
did?
in Winnipeg, but it was a regular fan. She wasn't like a press person. She wasn't like, why are you here? She didn't care. And I took a picture with Scientific. I said, you know how things are in Hollywood. You never met me. I was never here. And she was like, awesome. Okay. So now she's telling, I'm sure now, going, oh my God! Telling
So do you think the decision to have you in the Cameo happened that last minute, or do you think they knew all along?
I think they were plotting for a while and trying to figure out exactly when and how and blah, blah, blah. But I think that somewhere there was some meeting where like, yeah, we should probably do that. But like when and how and where. And then I think when this episode came up and they went, wait a minute. She meets these people in the woods. What? No, we could.
So you don't think they wrote the scene for that purpose, or the scene was in the show?
It was in the show, and then it got a little expanded, got a little bit. He's like, yeah, because I got the original, and then I got the one. I was like, it got a little fancier. But I think that they looked and went, well, if she would do it, that would rock, maybe. And then the call came, and I was like, are you kidding? No, that sounds great. And it's like, okay, you're not, you're crazy lady. It's weird. You get bit by Laura. I'm like, oh, God, I'm like so there. So, and then when I read it, I was like, yeah. Yes. I loved it. I went, yes, this is the perfect little cameo, freak everybody out, Easter egg. Yeah. Of course, crazy person. And you know how it is with actors, and Pamela, you know this. Don't you love it when they ugly us up when we get to do?
Yes, it's the best.
But monster, those kind of. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get ugly. We all want to get uglied up. I need a big scar over here. Yeah, no, more paint on my teeth. The only thing, I feel bad for my dentist. I think my dentist is going to be very upset because look, he's taking such good care.
After all that work, and then he
painted them. They painted them. They had these color packets on the table. I sent you a picture with the colors were named dirt, tobacco, rigor mortis, all this horrible stuff. They were all horrible shades of green and brown. And they have special packets, and it's all blood and dried blood, all these god-awful color names. And that's what they put all over my face and my teeth and my nails. And I loved it so much. I was like, where can I buy these? Because I think I need it.
You'll be selling it in no time.
I feel very secure talking about this because when this episode drops, it'll be another week. It'll be a week from today. So everyone hopefully will have already seen it and
Cats out of the bag. Cats out of the bag. And then articles. Their articles are out because I did an interview with, Parisian Magazine, CBS, somebody else, and Netflix. Netflix themselves did a whole interview with me on their little page and everything. So, and they said this will all drop at like midnight. So that was out. And then, of course, Facebook's gone banana boats. And so when I got up there, and I can say, first of all, as I said, I went live at midnight last night. I was a little after midnight.
You did?
Well, okay, because first I had to get my Netflix. Like my Netflix decided to not work at that moment. And I was like, no, stop it.
Oh my God.
I was like, what is happening? And Wishnoff's texting me going, it's on now. I'm watching it. Where are you? I'm like, So I got it going, and I cheated. I said, I'm going to fast forward through episode 2 and just watch my scene first because I'm a terrible person. And I told Bob I was going to do that, and he said, you have no self-control. It's not dailies, for heaven's sake. You should watch the show. I'm like, I'm totally watching myself. And so I had popcorn and champagne, and I totally watched myself, screamed my head off, like a big idiot, laughed my head off, and then proceeded to watch episode 1 and 2. And I went live and was like, okay, how much do we love this and everything? And I went, ha, yes, I'm in it. Blah, ha, laughed. And then I came back after, like, okay, how much do we love Mr. Edwards? I think this works. Yes, it's great. And I post all over Facebook, and people have been going bananas. Barnaby, I heard from our Barnaby, and he's like, you're in it. What just happened? So, yeah, all the people I didn't tell, I haven't gotten yelled at yet. I'm sure there's a bunch of people who are so mad that I didn't tell them. They're so mad I did not tell them, and I haven't heard from them yet. People are kind of digging it, and my favorite thing is several people said, it's like Kezia. It's like crazy Kezia on the prairie.
Kezia was
like,
evil.
Stop. Okay, comparing me to the genius goddess Hermione Baddeley, I will take that any day of the week. You can just keep that up all day. But several people compared her to Kezia. And I was like, yes. And someone's going, it's Kezia's granddaughter. It's Kezia. Yeah. And they're going, wait, okay, let's make she should be a regular. Let's have Kezia. I thought, okay, if they're going to call me Kezia too, I'm like, I have no problem with that. That is absolutely freaking hilarious. I will go with that.
I thought the moment, I thought they played the moment very well. It's one of the few, other than say in episode 1 where the wagon was, where the covered wagon is in jeopardy.
God, the first 5 minutes
But
are awesome.
but the composer played your scene dark. So there was menace intended in the scene, and you played it not for menace. They played it for menace, and which made it menacing.
We had so much going on in that scene, and when we started it, the director is marvelous. The British woman, I got her name somewhere. It was great. So we started doing it, and how often happens to me, because the makeup and the thing. She's like, "Yeah, you don't really have to do much. I mean, look at you. You're already scary. We're already there. True, okay." And it was kind of like, how menacing should I be? Am I scary? Am I nice? And the girls think I'm scary because I'm weird and living in the forest? Or am I actually a possible threat? Because that guy is sitting by there with his harmonica. He should be on a list. Did you see him talk about creepy dudes?
Yes.
Yikes.
Yes.
Yikes.
And all he was doing was looking at them, and it was
just
creepy
stared
as
at those poor
heck.
girls, and I wanted to call the police.
The other woman I thought was her laughter at the end. I don't know, how many of you either of you know Rob Roy? The movie Rob Roy. This was years ago. Liam Neeson and Jessica Lange, and they're the Scott. There's a scene in the mountains where thieves steal the cattle, and there was sort of a crazy woman in the mountains, and you had all the dialogue, Alison. So you weren't sort of chewing on it, but the woman that you were with had that sort of crazy quality that was like the woman in Rob Roy. It was it was hitting me like there's something a little whacked out going
Canadian
on here.
actress named Andrea, my new bestie.
She was terrific.
Awesome. We had to not friend each other on Facebook so people wouldn't suspect, and I had to communicate with her by WhatsApp, and we're sending her pictures, and we were texting a few days before going, "I can't stand it, can you stand?" So now we're all over Facebook, and she's put up her pictures and going, "Yes, I got to do this."
So then it was decided then that you were going to play it sort of overly sweet until
we tossed it around. It was like, okay, we did one take, no, not three. I think, and then it's like, oh wait, is she trying to be nice? And we kind of went with, actually making her try to be nicer is making it 10 times creepier.
And when you grab her, then it becomes something else.
And she's like, no, nicer. And I'm like, oh crap, no, wait.
Because you're lulling them over to you.
And I'm like, no,
so
the fact that she's smiling and saying, "Would you sit by me?" is 10 times more disturbing than if I'd gone with creepy. And I'm like, yes, ma'am. I went with the director.
So you
the fact that Mary just stepped right in. There was no hesitation. Mary just stepped right in.
And she's intimidated. She's terrified, but this lady, she's afraid to say no. It's really weird. And Laura's like, "Oh hell no, I'm not going near that lady." And when we started, I think I started a little creepier, and she was like, "Oh, no, I think it's scarier if I'm nice." Oh crap, you're right. You're right. It's scarier if I'm nice. And so then it's like, "You go sit by me."
because then when you explode, it's really terrifying.
Exactly. So the director rocks. She completely rocks. She totally, And the cinematography and the things they were doing with the guy with the Steadicam and the thing and the holy moly, they were making Apocalypse Now at the way they're shooting this thing. They had more stuff going on, and it was bananas.
Okay, so I want to hear first. I just want to say to the listeners and the viewers, if you don't know what we're talking about in episode 2, there's a scene where Laura and Mary are lost in the prairie, and they come upon these 3 wayward people living in the forest, and Alison is a crazy lady that tries to...
There's technically a 4th guy, but he's drunk in the tent laying down. He didn't, I think, get to see him as much. He was very good. He did drunk.
And because of that, and because I watched this morning FaceTiming with Chris Chaika, our historic expert, and Amy C. Elliott, another historic expert on the books and the TV show.
And he didn't know. He didn't know. I didn't tell him.
He did not know. No one knew. I kept my secret. So there we go. But he.
I'm sorry. So you watched this live together for the first time?
Yes. So he actually was having people over. I
that's
couldn't go over because we're recording, so I couldn't go down to him. So we decided, okay, we're going to Zoom it or FaceTime it, watch it together, get our reactions, have a little chat, have a little talk, and then I was going to come and record the podcast, which is exactly what's happening. But he did have a little very cool message for you, Allison. Tony, will you roll that clip, please?
Hi, Chris.
Here we go.
Hey, Allison and Dean. Pamela and I were speaking this morning as we were both watching the new Netflix adaptation of Little House, and something popped into my mind that I think might be interesting for you all. Allison's cameo, as soon as she came on screen and that scene unfolded, I said to the folks that I'm watching with, I'm like, I think I know where this came from. So, in actual history, what's known as the first serial killer family in American history, a real family, lived between where Laura Ingalls Wilder's Little House on the Prairie was and Independence, Kansas. They were there a little before the Ingalls were there. So as far as we know, the Ingalls family and who became known as the Bloody Benders never interacted with each other. But basically it was a family, and there was a woman named Kate Bender, who I suspect Allison's character in the show is a nod to Kate Bender. She and her husband would murder people who stopped at their tavern and dump their bodies in the cellar and then bury them in the garden. So as soon as that scene played out, I was like, I think this is a nod to the Bloody Benders. Now, Laura, as I said, didn't have any experience with the Bloody Benders, but later when Laura was writing Pioneer Girl, her life story, she included a story about the Bloody Benders, or rather, Rose included a story about the Bloody Benders in the manuscript, but ultimately when the Little House books were written, being for children, that story was taken out. So, Allison, congratulations. I think you were inadvertently playing Kate Bender.
Yes!
That's
pretty
we
cool.
love Chris Chaika because he
That's a
knows
cool
the facts
story.
that
And
no one
I
else
knew-
would know.
I knew about the Benders because in Pioneer Girl, the Bloody Benders, and it really was a serial killer. It was Texas Chainsaw Massacre in Kansas. They were killing people at their
Yes.
hotel and robbing them and dumping their bodies. It's horrible, the Benders. And Rose did right thing. In Pioneer Girl, there's a story, and it's like because the Benders and Ingalls kind of just missed each other.
Yeah.
But there was a story that the neighbors came and asked Pa to join a posse because they were working with the cops to look for these people. And no, he didn't run into them. And it was implied that he might have been looking for the Benders. But yeah, no, not really, because they missed each other. But they were very well known. The murders in the case was so well known. And they were so close to where they were that absolutely... In Pioneer Girl, there's a whole discussion of the Benders and what went on in Kansas at that time. And that's great. Yes, a weird twist that, like, is it supposed to be the Benders? I don't know. I mean, that would, because, I mean, when I had the whole thing, come closer, I totally, it was Sir Anthony Hopkins, Hannibal Lecter. Closer.
Yes.
Sorry. So, yeah, I enjoyed it so much. I mean, I thought that these people could potentially be dangerous. I mean, that guy, because these people are looking for money, they may be thieves, they may be just like people who drink a lot and get high in the woods and are a mess. They clearly don't live in town. They're living off their wits. So here come two really pretty girls, young girls who have parents. So I don't know. Ransom, maybe, but yeah,
Who knows?
Trafficking, because it was the Wild Wild West, and horrible things did happen like that, and there were brothels, and we know what went on, and these were people who were a little hard up and maybe not too scrupulous, and here came two pretty, one nearly teenage girl. Yeah, come sit by me. Don't come sit by her. Don't talk to strangers in the woods. The moral of this scene was do not talk to weird strangers in the woods, because it's just a bad idea. But I love they built up the menace. Like the girls start to get lost, and I read, wow, that is even longer. And when Mary goes, you have no idea where we are doing, and you start to go, wow, they really are lost. And then the music starts getting creepy, and then ta-da. yeah, you start to figure these people are dangerous. And I think like deciding like how menacing they are, like when they got the final footage of and my blonde friend cackling and the weird dude, that it was like, oh hell yeah, let's go way dark. And Mr. Edwards has to come with a gun and break it up. I'm like, yeah, man.
Well, and that moment cements the real danger that existed, because he steps in pretty forcefully.
Yeah.
He doesn't just say, come on with me, girls. It's not that. It's like, no.
He doesn't say, oh, you guys are such cards. Leave those girls alone. Ha ha. He's like, no, knock it off.
With a gun, with his rifle.
Yeah.
And it's like he does know us, because I go, oh yeah, we totally know him. Yeah, we're his friends. And I think they have met. And that's the thing. He does know who they are. And that's why he's like, oh, not you people again. I think he's very aware of who and what they are, and that they are dangerous, and that he does need to get the girls out of there.
I also, side note, love that they kept your hair, that they didn't wig you.
Got to use
Because the fact that you had this short hair, that messy short hair, was even creepier. Like, why is this woman's hair all cut off?
Did she have lice?
Super.
And she had to chop it off?
I know. Just
Did
like
she have
so
lice?
creepy.
Like, you
why
saw
would
the
this
filth
woman
with
have
dirt.
Okay, so should we talk about? I want to hear all of your experience. I want to hear about Alison, you meeting the other cast members, what the vibe on the set was like. How different was it than your Little House vibe?
I want to also make sure we talk about the wardrobe, because you made comments to me about the wardrobe when you came back.
All of it. Fire away. Fire away.
Yeah.
Let me give you a list.
Where do you want to start? I mean,
Well, let's start
who
with
did
your
you meet?
reactions to the cast as you met them.
Yeah.
I
Who
have
did
to
you
admit-
meet in reaction?
I was so excited to do this. I admit, I was so excited because, to be fair, there's been other remakes of Little House on the Prairie. People go,
Yeah.
there was the thing with John Boy, Richard Thomas did a Little House on the Prairie, for God's sakes. And there was the one that was Disney. There was the 6 episodes and everything. So, and to be fair, none of us were included in that, not even in the press. It was kind of, there was back in the day, things were different. Like we talked about how TV people, movie, back in the day, it's like, well, no, we're not doing that. So we can't talk to you or anything. This has been very, include everybody in the promotion, in the media, in discussing it. We all got a heads up phone call. Hey, the show's happening. The press is dropping tomorrow. Hey, here's what's happening. Nellie's been. We all got a personal phone call, letting us know what's going on. So we've all felt very. So when I got the call, yeah, you're in it. Just get up here. I was like, oh my God. I was so excited. I could not sleep. I was on the plane. I actually do have pictures to me in the limo on the way to the airport going. I was so happy. And then I got there, and I had been on the plane for how many hours, and we're going straight to wardrobe. I'm like, I'm not awake. And I meet these people, and they were very big fans of wardrobe, and they are so gung-ho. This whole building of clothes and corsets for everyone. And corsets not like showgirl corsets, because we get the idea, we see the saloon girl. Corsets that are for back support and body support for regular women doing their chores. And they go over the little slip dress you get in the slip, and then the corset goes on, and they tie it, and I could breathe. They weren't they go, no, it's not like a waist cincher. It's a whole thing.
Support.
So they would say, no, you can still breathe. And I go, oh, I can feel. They go, yeah, and it molds to your body. Once we tie it, we're not going too tight, but once it's on, give it 5 minutes, and it will give and settle in, and you won't even feel like you're wearing a corset. You will not feel cinched. You will not have trouble breathing. You'll feel your boobs and everything else really supported. And I was like, okay. And I said, okay, go a little tighter. And I went, oh my God, they're not kidding. It did. It was like a real, and so it did. Everything shifted, and the corset shifted, and I went, why is this comfortable? This shouldn't be. I thought, and they went, yeah, because all we see on TV are the super cinchy, party corsets. It's real corset. So, and I over a little slip, and it looked so cute, and I had pictures of it. And then I tried on a couple of dresses, and then they settled on that one with a coat, and I posed for pictures in the little wardrobe room. They had a little thing with plastic flowers and a little prairie backdrop, like a step and repeat, and you pose in front of the prairie flowers in the outfit. And of course, I'm sitting on a bench going, arr, I'm posing like a pirate in the thing. And then I went to hair and makeup, and they were just darling, and that's where they had the colors, poison, rigor mortis, death, blood, awful. And they painted my nails and put fake dirt under my nails, painted my nails. They painted my teeth.
Yeah, the teeth.
The makeup.
The teeth were good.
Yeah, actually, she said, I feel kind of bad. You have such nice skin. I feel kind of bad looking at. I'm going to totally mess up your skin. This seems wrong. And then just made me look like hell.
And how long did that take? How long did makeup take?
Oh my God, it was a while. It was good because
Yeah.
the teeth. That's because they have to like kind of spray them dry, and then you get. It feels weird at first, and then it doesn't taste like anything. It's okay.
So wait a minute. Did you arrive, go to wardrobe, and shoot?
No,
No,
went
no.
to wardrobe, tried on everything in the place.
Okay, so
and took
they did
pictures.
like a test thing
Test,
and then
wardrobe
did it
test.
again.
And then they played with me and did the makeup, made me look just like hell. And then they were like, "Is this good?" And everybody looked and went, "Oh yeah, that's right. We want that. Perfect." And then let me wash my face. And then I hung out a little bit on the set. They said, "You can go back to the hotel. You can hang out." And I watched little.
Wait,
little
were they
Atlas.
Nellie fans? Did they know you when you walked in the door?
Oh,
were they
my
were they
God.
like, "Nah"?
It was a convention. It was a bonnet head convention. And see, that's one of the things
Good.
I've been saying about the new show, that I'm confident that it's not going to be some terrible travesty because they're a bunch of bonnet heads. Everybody's read the books. It's mostly women, and there's people who grew up on the books and they watch the show and they're into it. They're all Prairie all the time. They're into this. And I mean, the wardrobe people are like, everyone wore corsets. People have the wrong idea about corsets. People wear corsets like ladies wear a bra. You wear a corset. And I'm like, and
Yeah, because I would have never. I like it was. Even when you were talking about you having to be in a corset, I was like, why did you have to be in a corset? You were in a big baggy clothes and a big baggy jacket. But
and I
if
said,
that
"These
was the
crazy ladies,"
underwear
and they
of the
said, yeah, it was
day,
underwear. They said, well, why would you not wear a corset? It's like not wearing bra and panties. And
Right,
they were
right.
like, and they were like, your show, not everybody wore a corset. They let you wear your own underwear. I said, yeah, I had like my Jean Claude's bra, from and they went, they let you wear your own underwear. Oh no, everyone's in a corset on this show. I'm like, ooh, aren't we fancy?
yeah,
it was
no one's
hilarious.
gonna have the French tips on the Prairie in this
No,
version.
well,
Yes.
my nails.
Nope.
I went to the beauty parlor because I probably had these like the week before, and I went in and I said, "These are gel because I would break them if I didn't have gel." So they're French tips with gel, and then they put the stuff up. So I went in and I said, "Okay, I'm about to go do a thing, and I'm going to play somebody who doesn't wear nail polish." They said, "Gotcha," and they took all the color off, and then it was still really the whole plastic acrylic-y gel thing, but they filed it down to like short length, like I didn't have nails, and then painted them matte finish clear. And then so I wouldn't have to rip everything off and glue everything back on. They just dressed it up. And then I
Right.
showed up in Winnipeg, and they went, "Oh yeah, we can paint over that. You're good." And then they proceeded to get out the gear and paint my nails like I'd been digging in the dirt every day and had never washed my hands in my life, and it looked disgusting. I was like, "Awesome!" It washed right off. They said, "Now this may take a little time. You may need some nail polish. I'm gonna get that," but it came off. And then I hung out on the set and I watched little Alice in her little hat, walking around these big cranes and everything, and she was walking around the house, and I started very determined. I just this little determined girl in a hat going around. I was like, "Oh, fuck you!" And it was fantastic, and that's what I got to talk to people, and absolutely the enthusiasm on the set, the attention to detail on the set, the "oh my God, we're really doing this thing," and the fact that yes, they were all like, "Oh my God, we're so glad you're here. Oh my God, can you sign my thing? Can I get a copy of your book?" I made sure I brought
That's awesome.
pictures and books. Or people, I need a copy of the book. So yeah, Bonnet Head Convention, everybody was way into it, and they're really into the whole thing, the Prairie. And when anybody was doing a scene, people who, if they weren't in the scene, they were just working. They were just hanging out, like watching everything. Everyone was excited to be there. And I did say to people last night to my show, I said, well, here's something they carried over from our show. Everyone on the set is really nice. Everybody is super respectful and nice, and people are nice to each other, and it's the vibe is good. In fact, I think some of the vibe may have been even more chill because, well, it's 2026 and people are more. We were the 70s, so there was all the drinking and the smoking and the junk food on the craft table. Things were like a little wild. Yeah, there's no smoking now because they're also in the forest in Winnipeg and you can get up a fire. But there was that team camaraderie vibe going on, and people were awful nice. I mean, they were all sweet. Maybe they're all Canadian. I don't know. There's a lot of Canadians.
Yeah.
Just really polite. But it was freaking awesome. And I met the girls. I met Ma briefly. I didn't get to talk to Ma long. I did get to meet Pa. But I got to meet Mr. Edwards. He is a doll. We love, but we are Okay,
He's
we
great on the show.
Team
He's great.
Mr. Edwards.
Yeah, for real.
Shut up! I am Team Mr. Edwards.
Yeah.
And he's like the nicest person. And I did tell him, I said, I've been making jokes in my stand-up act since like the pictures came out that in the news show, not only is Paul hot, but now Mr. Edwards is hot. I hope you don't mind. He went, oh, that's like the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me. Thank you. Yes, please don't. He was really, really nice. I thought it was great. And I had, unlike on our show, I had a big fancy dressing room. Our show, we had the basic dressing room because you had 8 million people, and everybody had the same super basic dressing room, especially the Paramount. It was like, I had a fancy trailer with a fridge and a microwave, and I was never in it. It had really good air conditioning, which was great because it was hot as hell out there.
Oh, was it?
So I had the room with all my stuff hanging. I got to be in a fancy dressing room, and there was lunch. Lunch was good. It was catered lunch. We had sat in a tent, and there was a lot of salad, and I was so excited. I was so excited. And then after makeup tests, Trip and the gang, a bunch of producers, we went to dinner at a fine Winnipeg restaurant, and then I was staying in this awesome hotel.
But you told me you had to be hidden in the restaurant.
I had to be hidden
that no one knew.
And I was like, oh, let's sit down. And finally someone said, Trip, Alison has to face away from the room because, remember, she's not supposed to be here. And they're like, oh, right, wow, we don't want the table. Can we have the table in the back? And suddenly it's like, okay, move it. And like I was like weirdly incognito. We're going to put a bag over my head or something. I did go sightseeing because I don't think local Winnipeg people or people hanging out at the museum, it wasn't in their brain that I would even be there. So it's like, it was the holiday weekend. It was Canada Day, July 1st. So I did all the makeup and hair and face and clothes. And then they said, boop, you're off. I go, what? They go, well, yeah, you shoot after the holiday on like the 2nd. I'm like, oh, okay. So the Museum of Human Rights is in Winnipeg, which is just amazing. You should go. There's a whole arboretum thing with the plants, and they have a butterfly thing where you walk through and all the butterflies land on your face in the cage and thing. There's all the parks, and I went to the zoo, and the poor polar bears were way too hot, and they were all asleep. And there's a little choo-choo train that goes to the zoo in the park. I mean, I just went, la, 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 what do you got? Let me get a ticket for that. I went to every tourist thing they had in Winnipeg.
Wait, question for you.
Yes.
How far in advance did you receive the script, or at least your scene?
I guess I got the first script. Well, there was like my scene before it was rewritten. I guess right after I got like even before agent had made the deal. So like probably I guess.
Oh, okay.
But that was
a couple of weeks.
June. We were talking. It was June 26th, 7th. I flew up there. So a couple of weeks. And then, like, right before, I got, like, okay, this is the proper way, this is everything. And then, every day they emailed you stuff and said, hey, check for changes, and here's your stuff. And, yeah. So I was jazzed. But I was just so excited. I was so excited. I was like, oh, my God. So this is happening, this new incarnation, this new canon, this new, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. This new thing of the future, this new zeitgeist, whatever. And I'm part of it. I'm in it. And I'm the first or only one in it. It's circle of life. The world has come full circle. I had this great day back in 74 where I went to an audition and became Nellie, and it changed my life. And then 52 freaking years later, I get a phone call, and I'm in Winnipeg in costume again going, what is happening? So it was like everything came full circle, and now this has happened, and I'm part of the thing, because Little House is more than a show. It's more than a show. It's a thing. It's a phenomenon. It's a thing. It's part of American culture. There's the books. There's the true story. There's the shows. It's part of people's minds and consciousness, and the thing we all share together and argue about. It's its thing, and this is the new arm, leg, new baby of the thing.
Yeah.
And I got to be part of the next thing. Oh my God!
I think it's worthwhile to talk a little bit about the journey that this took to get to the point where we could actually log into Netflix and look at this morning. When you realize that
wild, dude.
For the Friendly family, this started back in 1972 when Tripp's father, Ed, read his daughter Brooke's copy of Little House on the Prairie, or one of the books, I'm not sure which one it was, and absolutely fell in love with it and said this would make a great television series. And it happens on NBC and goes for 9 years. And then, so it ends in 1983. And from that point on, the Friendly family have been trying to find a way to do it again. And obviously, Ed, late in his career, was able to get The Wonderful World of Disney. And I think that was 2006.
That's right.
When that happened. And, we all watched that. And then from that point forward, it went into multiple opportunities for it to come back as a feature film, as another television. I mean, Horton Foote wrote a draft of when at Universal. He wrote a draft for a feature film
over and over. I was like, Horton Foote.
And so a lot has gone into this, and you have to give the Friendly family and Trip Friendly, who is obviously his Edward S. Friendly the third, got to give the family and Rebecca, the two of them really, because it's a family event between the two of them, and then they've added some individuals to it. But so much determination and commitment to making this happen. And it didn't just happen. There were so many fits and starts along the way. So one can only imagine, as excited as you are, Alison, to have this opportunity, you can only imagine how thrilled Trip and Rebecca must be to have seen this launch this morning after decades in the dreaming, the believing, the commitment. It's just been a huge thing for them.
They're beside themselves. Have you seen like Rebecca's Instagram where she's like, let's see, I made 2 babies in a TV show. What did you do? She's like, and they are going banana boats over there. They are so excited. So excited. Well, I texted Trip this morning. I was like, that was awesome. And like, showed some of the comments on Facebook. So they are absolutely ecstatic. And also it's because it's good. I think many of the fits and starts, I don't think they were right. Sometimes it's the right time. Sometimes not the right time. It's really talk about your unanswered prayers because because God said no, because I think some of the other incarnations that almost happened, no, it wasn't right. It wasn't the right director. It wasn't the right writer, and it would not have worked. And it wasn't the right time, and it wasn't the right mental state of the world and people's brains. And the show, it would have been a high quality thing. It wouldn't have been right. And whatever happened for whatever reason, and all the things that get into it, this particular incarnation with this showrunner and these directors and these producers works in a way that those would not have.
Well, it's all of them would have been different, and this is the one where Kismet struck, and it worked.
It was it's timing. It's just this. It was meant to be now. And the other ones would I have been in them as a crazy lady in the woods? Probably not. But in this incarnation, I apparently am, and I have had fans comparing me to Kezia, and I am so happy about that. I just Kezia the second, whatever.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's very different. I mean, first thing I was like, I've had to prepare myself. It is shot differently. Hello, everything is digital. It's not 35.
So shot differently. I mean, you're talking about just the actual medium. It's digital as opposed to film.
And like I said, a lot of steady cam kind of things. And I think we had one on Little House, but it was like huge. It was like one of the first that nobody was doing that. It was like, we have a steady cam.
So the inventor of the Steadicam, Garrett Brown, used it on Little House, one of the initial usings of the technology.
Literally,
on Little House.
The guy who invented it had to bring, because that's how
he was. Garrett Brown was a guy who was like 6'5", 6'6", ran like a gazelle, And there's so much torque on this thing now. A camera can be very small and it does not have to kill you. They were putting a full-size 35 millimeter Panavision camera on this gimbal that was attached, that talk about a corset that went on to his body so he could move this thing. Oh my God, what a piece of technology that was at the time. Now it's got to be, I haven't seen this, but Steadicams have taken such a different form now. It's such a useful tool.
It's like everybody's got one now, or something.
Yeah. Anyone can buy one now. It's maybe not.
You don't have to have the inventor personally come over and bring his. And the way it shows now. Okay, it looks like a Netflix show. You know how you see shows that are made now in this century, in the 2020s, and they have a certain look and a feel and a rhythm, and the acting, there's a certain rhythm, and there's a certain speed at which things happen and don't happen, and rhythm of how people talk, and a way the actors perform, a very, very low key, almost cinematic kind of stuff
right.
going on. That didn't even exist in some places, except maybe in movies in the 70s. And a look that shows have when you watch shows that have recently made, our show from the 70s was kind of amazing in that it holds up because we didn't do all the exact same 74 through 79 tropes. We don't look like the Brady Bunch. There was certain, everything was terribly overlit in the 70s, and now everybody's practically standing around in the dark in these shows. So there's a real difference visually. You're watching an old show. Our show holds up because we did some stuff that was sort of eternal, and we didn't do this is how you do it in the 1970s trope. We kind of like made it more like a movie.
Little House was shot. It was I think at that time, it was the most beautiful show on television.
It is so beautiful.
Without question. And once it was fully restored,
oh my God,
in 2014, it's even more beautiful than it was originally because now it's been.
I would love to see a side-by-side comparison of what it looked like originally versus after it was restored.
Yeah, it's significantly different. And I think the big thing is lines of resolution. We talk about 1080 or 1920 lines of resolution in an HD picture. In a Sony Trinitron, the best television that you could buy was 480 lines of resolution.
You couldn't see anything.
It's so much disappeared in the space between the lines of resolution. And now you see it all. And they were able to, when it was restored in 2014 by Lionsgate, it was sharpened. It was certainly every moment was gone through and made richer. What we're seeing, what we saw this morning, and what we will see in the weeks ahead, shot. Sensors are so different. Lenses are different. All of it is the post-production workflow is so different, and there's so much that can be done now that you just simply couldn't do that.
And Pamela's a makeup artist. This makeup is different. What do we have? Nat Dan with a sponge, Egyptian 2, or all these ridiculous names. Max with a slap. No. Oh, the makeup. Now, of course, they're always getting uglied up and everyone's getting prettied up. But yes, the makeup is different.
Yeah.
It's practically
not as heavy.
If it's not airbrushed, it looks like it was airbrushed. It's just so different because the lighting is so different and the way it's shot is so different. So right away. If they had gone, frame for frame, let's reshoot an episode of Little House with the script, it still would be completely a billion times different because the way it is shot and the thing, and it's just like, oh, look, it's a different thing. And the way people act it. I don't know about all the actors, but I know some of them were like, I didn't want to go back and watch your show because I didn't want to get make it weird,
Sure.
I think Alice had read the books, but waited to watch our show until after she had episodes in the can, and she just didn't want to mess with it. She had a picture of Laura in her head and decided to go with that.
So she had never watched it?
I don't think she'd watched our show and wanted to wait until she had some, because she had it. She got a very clear picture of who Laura is in her head and went, let's go with that.
Well, interestingly, Alison, when and Pamela, you're the one who shared this. Somehow you got your hands on a breakdown.
I did.
And you shared a breakdown with us last summer, and I thought the breakdowns of the characters were exceptionally well written. I mean, I think you really did see what was in mind in the writing of these breakdowns.
Let me just explain to our audience what a breakdown is. So, a breakdown services is what casting directors and what agents receive on the daily of what shows are being cast and the breakdown of the character description of the part. So, and sometimes those descriptions are awful. I mean,
I get they make no sense.
You know, sometimes, especially with the women, it's like attractive with a snarky. You're like, what are you talking? What does this mean? But a really well written breakdown means that they truly understand what they are looking for.
And it's a big deal. The breakdowns have very time been considered a big secret. Agents and managers were allowed to get breakdown services sent to them.
Yeah,
Back
the
in my
actors
day,
or the public.
a guy came to the door, a courier.
Right. Now it's
Right.
emailed.
It was
Now
hand
it's-
delivered
But it's
every morning.
Yes,
And
but it
only
is.
I could see them because my dad was a manager, so I saw them. But they would go out of their way to they didn't want actors to see them. Or
No,
they said, okay, just your character will show you that. Now everybody sees them.
Well, no, that's not true.
better.
Actually, I mean, I'm not
Get
going
'em.
to reveal how I see them, but no, actors
But you
do
can see
not
them through the
see
thing
them.
you're reading for. I remember when you're reading for something. You
Oh,
were
so
be
when-
allowed to see
yes.
the breakdown back in the
Oh,
70s.
I see.
Now,
Right,
when you're
so when
reading,
I
you
get
can read
an
the
audition-
whole thing for that show.
You're right. So when I get an audition,
Yeah.
they include the breakdown of the character that I will be auditioning for
And
and,
they
whatever scenes or script or
I
whatever.
saw
Yeah, you're right.
nada for Nellie Oleson. They didn't show me nothing, and they did that a lot.
So you
Back
just
in the
read
70s, you
it.
sometimes got very little information, and then descriptions. Oh, please! In the 70s, a female character was like, she is blonde and has big boobs. I mean,
Right.
it was,
And you're like-
it was horrendous. It just was.
Every now and then, there's still that character
If you
description about a woman, and it's just infuriating.
And so now it's so much better. The breakdowns for this was so detailed.
They were
Yes,
good.
it was
They were
a
and
detailed.
long
how who
descriptions.
these people
Yeah.
were. I rarely ever do you see that attention to detail.
Yeah, they were very, very good. That's so interesting. You even remembered that, Dean. That's really cool. Should we take a quick break
Sure.
and then we'll come right back? All right. I did it this time, you guys. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
From the pioneers to the presidents. Explore beautiful wildflowers, hike through iconic Hollywood locations, and end your day aboard the actual Air Force One at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Museum. Throughout the summer, take the Little House 50th Anniversary Tour at Big Sky Movie Ranch. Less than 15 minutes from Los Angeles and 30 minutes from Universal Studios, Simi Valley has small-town charm with big-time history. Go to visitsimivalley.com for more information. We are so grateful to visitsimivalley.com for their commitment to presenting the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast.
Okay, hi everybody. We're back. And okay, so we talked about Alison and her adventures on the new Prairie, but let's discuss our general take of what we've seen so far. Again, we've only seen the first couple of episodes.
Right.
Some definite standout characters that I thought were fabulous. And it'll be really interesting to see how it's all fleshed out. Again, an interesting thing, and the show creators talked about this in several interviews. They are taking certain liberties with expanding certain stories and historic things that actually happened. You know, the Native American community, the Osage tribe that this land is literally belongs to. I mean, that I found really fascinating. The constant awareness that yes, the Ingalls and these people are coming out to this land to get their quote unquote free land. And yet we are fully aware that it is not free land, actually.
Nothing
that there
free
are
about it.
yeah, there's nothing free about it, which is interesting. And I read an article with this showrunner who said, I want this, that she, something to the point of, I want this show to show how America became what it became, not, and you have to include those sort of historical accuracies in order to do that. And I found that really, really fascinating. does it, go a little away from the books in the sense that would Laura really know, if it's coming from Laura's perspective, would she know what the private rooms in the Native Americans family kitchen were talking about? No. But I think for us, it's really good that there's that awareness that we know that this is American history and it's a bit twisted. As a lot of American history
the
is.
Native American story, like and the actors are all like Canadian First Nations people or American Native Americans.
They're also beautiful. Everyone's very beautiful on this prairie.
Pretty. They're also pretty. When the line of the Osage came by on their horses, how many of the guys on those horses did you go, oh, well done.
Yeah, it's a good looking tribe.
That's the best looking First Nations people ever recorded on film. They were awesome. Are they starting a band? Is this a band, right? This is a new boy band.
But even I don't think this is in the books. And again, correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not the book expert here. But even the character of the little girl. And Laura, the good eagle, and Laura, them sort of dancing around each other and really wanting to be friends, but their family saying we cannot be friends with these people. But then they sort of come together. I thought that was a really interesting and lovely way to go about this.
Yeah, no, and I think there's an homage to the book where you sense that Caroline is uncomfortable.
Yes.
You sense that Pa wants to get to know. Laura definitely wants to get to know.
Laura's so desperate for a friend. Yeah.
Yeah, she's looking for something.
And she's intrigued.
Yeah. Now, there was this is never really explored in the books because there's really no direct interaction. In Little Town on the Prairie, there is some interaction with Native Americans, but in Little House on the Prairie, which is where we are now, and I may not be recalling this correctly, but I don't feel like there was.
Pa's the only one who talks to Native Americans. So, Ma is she brings up the war, and Pa's like, no, I'm not talking about the war now. Like
that was another aspect of this that was fascinating.
This is something that was definitely in history and in the books. Pa wanted to be friends with the Native Americans, said we have traded with them, some of them have helped us, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Ma said, hell to the no, I had relatives who died, who were killed. This is a violent situation. These people we don't know which tribe they're from, if they hate us. People have been killed over this stuff, don't want to go there. Laura is fascinated by them and wants to meet them. And in the book, when technically she would have been 3 years old historically. Yeah. So when people say Little House on the Prairie, the book, Carrie's just being born, everyone's the wrong age. Really? Because Laura was 3 then. Do you believe she had an hour-long conversation with her mother arguing the rights of Native Americans at 3? Because Laura repeatedly in the books, and remember they came out in the 30s, so this was like kind of shocking them, says this is their land and why are we here and on their land, which they kind of snuck that in. And Laura argues with their mother about hating the Native Americans, just all of them, because of the actions. And so it's a whole thing. So that they got that in, and they went the rest of the way of having this couple who are now the neighbors and the little girl who's her friend. But that makes sense, and that's something in Laura's writings we see an intent there to show that she and Charles were interested in talking to them and Mom was not. And so that got in. And it makes sense that obviously in the books coming out in the 30s, the portrayal of Native Americans was pretty slim then and not terribly favorable. And even in our show in the 70s, we had way more Native Americans than were in the books. And even then they were usually played by people who were not of Native Americans.
Right. Yeah, white guys.
Right? And because that's the 70s. We had a couple of people who were absolutely were Native American, but mostly not. And we had all that kind of stuff, and we didn't have really, if you're smack in the middle of Osage during Kansas, you would be talking to a lot of Native Americans. So bringing actually the whole darn tribe in and a family, I thought, yes, here they are. And the French lady, we got people speaking French.
Yes, that was interesting too.
That was in the pilot. Remember, Shen, the Soldat Shen in the pilot, the Indian
Soldat Duchesne, I think is what the character.
Soldat Duchesne, who comes to the door, the native chief who talks to Charles Carroll, and he speaks French in the pilot. That's a thing. So that now got in. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was good.
So I think that bringing in those people, like, Doc Dr. Tan, that was a real
Dr.
person.
Tan.
Dr. Tan's a real person. Dr. Tan was in the books.
And what a lovely job.
And a very wonderful performance too.
Such a wonderful performance.
His
He's so compelling.
The scene, I think the first time, I mean, the emotional moment that hit for me the strongest early in the episode was Dr. Tan's scene when he said, "Find help."
Uh-huh. I've seen people die.
After
Whole
Caroline
families
is
die.
wounded with the log falling on her foot, you better find help. I've seen families freeze out here, starve out here. And so I think, that part of it, we've talked for years about, how our version of the program was pretty idyllically presented in terms of, in terms of discussions of elements. Yes, you knew you could get caught in a blizzard. Yes, you knew that those things, but we weren't talking about it as directly as they talked about it here. And you only have to be out in South Dakota in January to know. This is not a place you'd want to be caught exposed to the elements in January. You wouldn't survive it at all.
No way.
And we have climate change now. It may not be as cold now as it was then. It's plenty cold. And I think, these things, I thought that was very powerful. I thought his delivery of that was wonderful. I think this is a really nice addition to this.
God, I love Dr. Tan.
I thought he was terrific.
He says, I got taken by wolves, people die. That was what I liked, was like the heights, the 1800s, you could die at any time. And we had episodes, we had a plague and we had anthrax. And so every now and then we do a big reminder, the Prairie is dangerous episode. But wow, they hit you right up front in this one. Are you guys crazy? It's the middle of nowhere in the 1800s. You're going to die. And I love when he said the idea that people make it alone out here. It's a pretty story.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, it takes a certain kind of person to want to step into that, and to be willing to step into that. And I think they did cover that. I think the other thing I would say, we've talked about Mr. Edwards. As I watched this, I thought,
he's great.
This portrayal of this character, Victor worked pretty big as Mr. Edwards, but there's a core in there that felt like what was wonderful was you could see the humor and you could see the danger in him. You could see the dark side, and Victor could play both. With
Victor
great
did
facility.
that brilliantly.
When Victor had done the scenes about how Mr. Edwards had a drinking problem, how Mr. Edwards had lost his family, and you saw the pain in his eyes. This guy came to the door with that.
And also with PTSD from the Civil War. I loved the Civil War sort of talk and
we didn't really
reference
touch that
to
other
it.
than one episode about morphine.
Later.
Right. So this is because it just happened. It's like less than 10 years ago.
Because this show starts in 1869, I believe.
Right. So Laura's 2 years. Laura's 2 years old. If this started in 1869, Laura's 2 years old.
Would be 2.
Because Carrie and Laura in real life are only like 3 or 4 years apart. So
Laura was born in 1867.
But no show has done that because they're not casting a 3-year-old as the lead.
Right. And listen, I know some people are like, the girls are too old. Listen, you don't want to cast a 5-year-old because you don't know if they're going to be a good actor later. Like, you can't. These roles demand actors, real actors.
In the books, Laura never says her age till we're in Little Town on the Prairie and they finally go, she's 15. She even has birthdays and they don't say how old. They say it's a birthday and she says, my birthday again. And suddenly it's Christmas and she never says how old she is because she's like making stuff up. Because in Kansas, she was freaking 3 and there's no story there if she's 3. She can't have all these conversations and memories. And also, it's out of whack. They did Big Woods in the books, and then came down. Truth is, they were in Wisconsin. They left and went to Kansas, and then, like in this show, they go, well, we could go back, and they did go back. That is what happened. They went back, and the relatives took them in because it was a mess. Right. So the incidents and the stories in Little House in the Big Woods are actually things that Laura and Mary did after Little House on the Prairie when they were a couple years older, because otherwise they would have been babies.
Right.
And then she wrote that, and then it's like, oops, I guess I got to pretend Kansas came after that, and I'm older, and I guess I can have all these conversations that I never had because I was 3 and had no idea.
So she took liberties with her own story.
Of course.
Right.
Oh,
as well.
my God, yes. Well, she said that what I've written is the truth, but not all the truth. I mean, that's one of her most, the essence of that is one of her most famous quotes.
How much do we love Charles and Caroline backstory, that we finally, how they met, and that he was so wild and strange.
And all the girls wanted him,
I always said he played the fiddle at parties. I mean, that's kind of in big woods. They talk about the parties and the sugaring off. Pa wasn't the cute guy with the guitar at the party. He was the guy with the fiddle, and she liked him.
Well, the guy with the fiddle was the cute guy with the guitar
totally.
in that era.
He was
also
cute.
Kudos. He's actually touching the strings and he actually knows how to play.
He also does not play, but he took a great deal of time. Something else I really liked about this was, I mean, I think. Look, I'm going to say I think the underscore is another conversation, but the fact that they are singing some of these beautiful old public domain songs, Daisy Dean, and you know they're singing these beautiful songs and doing them quite nicely. Thank you very much. I mean, I think, and they're clearly singing it live. This is not looped. They did this live. They obviously rehearsed to sing these songs. I think that was very nicely done in these first 2 episodes.
Does Paul play the fiddle? Because I saw an insert.
It looks like he does.
Well, no, he worked very hard. He does not play the fiddle. And the actor does not. Luke Bracey does not, but he worked very hard at getting
it. His hands are in the correct place. He is someone. He's like learning the fiddle, and like you can. It's not him.
Now, it could have been an insert. I mean, there was a shot where they shot over his shoulder. It could have been somebody else. Don't know. It could have
been one of the musicians or somebody brought in.
But
like, okay, we know because it was mentioned in our show that Ma's father died at sea, and then her mother remarried, and that their lives were very hard. It was a big tragedy when her father died at sea, and it was that she had to remarry because that time wasn't a lot for women and a child. There wasn't, benefits, Social Security. You're on your own. And that was a problem. Kind of intimated in our show, kind of mentioned the books. They go all the way. And Caroline talks about that her father died and the captain was drunk and this happened and we were ruined and blah, blah, blah. And we get why she's so cautious. And she's mentioning the war. We got full Caroline backstory. I think we got it later in an episode when her mother died was when we finally got Caroline backstory in our show. They go right into it. Charles's backstory, how they met, which makes historically.
So his brother who died in the Civil War.
They even do
George, his brother George.
George.
That's way more than we did about their family. Even on our show, I thought
you never really knew about. Totally.
They went right into the backstory, and then now what are they alluding to? Because this one I'm going, oh no, because it's very dark. There's very weird dark moments. After what happened, well, can we go back? I don't know. His brother, Peter, still hasn't forgiven him. And I
think we're going to find out, but
we can go back. So clearly we're going to find, I'm like, what did he do?
I know. I cannot wait to watch the rest of the episodes because I'm very intrigued as to what are we going to find out? Like, what are we doing here at school?
Why is Charles' brother so mad? They don't think they can go back even with her. What are they talking about?
I will say my big takeaway from watching was it simultaneously felt great to be watching this new adaptation in a way that is so completely different. It's different in style. It's different in even acting style. It's so different. And it's lovely that they're actually on a prairie. That's really nice. I love the new takeaways from it. And it also simultaneously made me so grateful for the Michael Landon version as well. It wasn't like one trumped the other or a competition between the two. It just was like, Michael Landon was a freaking genius. He just knew how to make amazing TV, even if it wasn't the actual story of Laura Ingalls Wilder. It just made me appreciate both for how different they are, and I will say though, nothing beats David Rose's music. Nothing. And the music in this was lovely.
Especially
Lovely. But David Rose, dude. He's the man.
Well, I look, I don't think that there's, and I say this because I think this is a challenge with Underscore today generally. I don't think there's a memorable melody in this. There's no melody you're going to hum again.
The David Rose thing.
Well, it's so different. It's just so different. That's not the purpose.
No, that
of the
may
music
that
in this
we may
show.
come to that. In later episodes, there may be some themes that are identified, but I think sonically, emotionally, primally, we respond to melodies. It's not just about a feeling.
Ambiance.
We want to those cues tell us something about the people that we are watching.
That's right.
And I think that now stylistically, this may not be the style of the day. A lot of composers don't play picture anymore. Right. They just don't play the picture. David did play the picture to enormously positive effect. Yeah. And I have been saying this for years. You've heard me say it. The music of the original Little House is as dynamic a character as anybody who appears on the screen.
Oh yeah.
And it's so interesting as I'm watching this, and I'm wondering how this was spotted, because there are scenes crying for Underscore in this that don't have any. And then it's like the music stops where the music should begin.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
And that, that's just a gut take that I have about this.
But also go back and watch Country Girls, Harvest Friend, Town Party Country. The first couple of episodes in the first year of our show, there's less music. And there's huge chunks of silence. There's huge chunks of no music. And then if you're by season 3, it's a frickin' musical. It's an opera.
Right.
And so they somewhere in there went, oh, wait, the music, somebody
Figured
said,
it out.
music's its own character. Oh, hey, what are we doing? Why are we not having music all the time? And it came, there's less music in this first episode. So they may figure this out. But here's the thing, is they'd be like,
But also, they don't make TV like that anymore. They just don't.
But
Sorry,
TV
Allison, go on.
Michael's genius. This is the why Michael Landon was a genius thing. Okay, so when this is made, this man has all these bells and whistles, great. But we can all, and the producers can all look back on the Ed Friendly one with Disney, the one with John Boy from the Waltons, the multiple ones. They can look back at our show. They can say, well, we don't want to recreate that. We're doing our own thing. But they can look back at it and go, this worked, that worked. I like this. I didn't like that. That worked. This worked. I like these elements. I like that elements. When Michael did it, there wasn't anything. He had a book. His daughter read. And that Ed Friendly sent him. He had a book, and the kid liked it. And Ed Friendly's kid liked it, and they talked.
Well, he had, and Michael picked up the phone and called David Rose, and who was just masterful at emotional life.
Yep.
For characters.
Oh yeah.
And I think I have long said this. You've heard me say it. It's David Rose who made people cry. Not necessarily the actors who made people cry.
Yes.
It's those melodies that made people cry. Now, maybe, all wonderfully supported by performance, all there, but it's that sonic, primal, into your guts experience that music told you what everybody was feeling. And it told you that
I did have menacing music, as you said, in my scene, and
you,
that's what it
you
needed.
were underscored. Yes.
To death. There was tons of menacing music, and I was like, yes.
And that's another reason. And that's another reason why the actors didn't have to talk about what they were feeling or talk about exposition, because so much of the music took care of that.
Michael started some because he couldn't look back and say, well, how did the other people do it? he took stuff from Bonanza that he learned as a director, as a writer.
course,
He knew
of course,
David Rose.
all
He
of
called
that.
all the people who worked on Bonanza and said, you should come do this. So he had that, but no one had made Little House on the Prairie before. There wasn't a TV special. There was nothing. So to say, what does Little House on the Prairie look like? Michael had to figure out what Little House on the Prairie looked like by himself. And he did. And so that is absolutely a level of crazy genius that you just can't even describe. So now we're looking back and going, well, is this? But it's 2026. There's been multiple incarnations of this show. How many kids have played Laura now? How many people have been Pa? John Boy, that we can go, well, we want it to be like this way.
Right.
Michael literally had nothing to compare it to. He was out on the prairie by himself with his friends from Bonanza going, how do I make Laura Ingalls come to life? That's a whole other thing.
Yeah, no, I think that there's going to be, and I think not unreasonably, there's going to be a lot of discussion about music.
Oh yeah.
I think that, there's really no theme. There's no, now that themes have largely disappeared. Instead of a 60-second theme, you maybe get a 15-second thing.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a stylistic change in a streaming environment. They roll, you don't even get through at least as I was watching this, you don't even get all the way through the credits on this before it's flipping. So, a lot of people who work on the show are not going to have their credit seen.
Yeah, I had to click on watch credits, and I did, so I could take a picture of my name on the screen. Alison Arngrim.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
but the average viewer is not going to do that. The average viewer is going, if they're going to watch it as it's served up to them.
There's no do in this incarnation.
There's no do.
Right.
Right.
And it's
For better or worse.
Fan discussions are interesting because before you had people who literally, they hadn't watched it, they hadn't read the breakdowns, they didn't know anything, and they were going, I don't like it because it's not my show.
different.
It's not my show. Oh, come on. And then people say, you haven't even seen, let's at least see the darn thing. Who knows? And you can't just hate it because it isn't the one you watched this morning. Of course, it's not the one you watched this morning. It's a different show. You get to watch a different show now. So some people were just like, I don't know. Now that it's actually, they've seen it, yes, there's going to be people going, I like the other one better, or this one's good, but I wish it had more, more music, more this, more that. But now you also have people going, wow, I saw it and I kind of liked it. I kind of and check out Mr.
There's
Edwards
a lot to like, yes.
So now you'll have people go, I saw it and I wasn't offended. I didn't feel bad. There were people who were prepared to be offended.
Oh,
and go,
I know.
I hate this.
Yeah,
I hate it.
no one should be offended.
No, they
No
were
one
like,
should
this
be
is
offended.
great. It's not insulting our show. And remember, it's on Netflix. We're on Amazon. You can just go click and watch us again 5 seconds. And someone actually said they were doing that. Someone said, now I have to go back and go on Amazon.
Go back and watch the pilot.
Theirs. So I can go back and watch the pilot and watch Little House on the Prairie from the 70s again. So, it's our show doesn't go away. You still get to watch it. It still exists. And they're two different things, and it's just like this.
They
is
are two
this
different
other
things.
World.
Yeah.
It's a new. It's canon. It's it's the Mandalorian. I don't know. It's you got your Star Wars. You got your. It's all part of the thing, and I'm fine with that. And our show has things that will never be replicated.
It's impossible. Right? Exactly.
And I almost and they shouldn't be. That's ding. And now we have this thing. But
Right.
I really like Dr. Tan and Mr. Edwards.
So do I.
Mr. Edwards is cute.
And I look. There's going to be so much. I read a review this morning that said by episode 4 you're going to be completely. If you're going to get hooked by episode 4, you're going to be completely hooked on this. So,
awesome.
So I'm halfway through episode 3.
Yeah.
And looking forward to getting through all of it. I think this, when you look at the muscle that's gone into launching this, there has been an enormous amount of energy put forth by Netflix to push this into the public's consciousness so that people are going to click on it and find it and discover it. It's a massive achievement from that perspective, and the fact that Netflix believed in it enough to to push the button on season 2 before season 1 dropped speaks, and we've talked about this, speaks enormously to their confidence and belief in what they had.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
very exciting. Congratulations to Netflix. Congratulations to the Friendlies.
Congratulations, you, Allison.
Congratulations to you, Allison,
secret
and to the
keeper.
entire cast. I mean, everyone should feel really amazing.
Yeah,
about this.
very
I thought
good.
it came across. I was so massively not disappointed, And when I was watching, yes, I watched the other scenes with the other people in them. It's amazing. When I watched episode 1, 2, I was not bored. I went, they're going, that's interesting. And I mean,
Yeah.
episode 2, obviously, I'd read the script. I knew it, and I was like, that's how she's. Because I was waiting. I was dying to see the Caroline Mr. Edwards scene where she goes off on about the, and I was like, that's how they're doing it. Okay. So I was still on the edge of my seat, even though I'd read the script, even though I knew it was going to happen. I was pulled in. I started watching part of 3. So that's good.
I know,
I mean,
I
I
can't
could
wait
have
to
just
watch
been,
this.
my part's done.
Yes, you
And
could
I
have
was
done
not-
that.
My part's
I was
done.
not. I found the whole thing fascinating.
Well, are we
Yeah,
going to
it
come
is
back? Are we going to
fascinating.
come back and revisit this? I think we probably should come back and
Yeah.
revisit this. My understanding is there
We
may be
might-
some
we
cast
might.
members that we may get to talk to here.
We might indeed.
Yeah, yeah,
So stay
yeah.
tuned for all of that,
Yeah.
everybody.
Let's get
And
Mr.
also,
Edwards
you
on.
guys join us on Patreon after this because Allison has tons of behind the scenes photos of her shoot on the new Prairie that we are going to share, and she's going to talk to us
How
more
great.
about all of that. But yeah, this was what a day, guys. It's like the countdown has been forever, and we're finally here. It's incredible. Time is really flying. And if you have a secret, Dean or Allison are the people to go to because they have integrity. I don't know if I could say that about myself.
If you'd been asked so specifically not to speak about it, you
I
would
know.
not spoken about it.
I
the
know, and
poor
there's
people on
also
the
a contract and an NDA and all. I mean, you could get in
They were told not to-
serious trouble.
Yeah. They tried to tell her in the set, okay, we have someone, a visitor that you all want pictures with, and you can take them and you can't show them to anybody until this thing airs. Don't put them on your Facebook. So it's like, So
Yeah,
expect a
big
lot
deal.
of pictures to now start
Yeah, that's
showing.
great though. That's so much fun. All right, is that a wrap, you guys? Are we good?
Yeah.
We're good. Can't wait to watch the rest of the episodes after this, and we hope you guys are also watching and enjoying. And we want to hear your comments too. I want to hear people's takes on it, and what they're loving or maybe what they're not loving, but mostly what they're loving. And also, I think the thing that I say what they're not loving, I don't mean because it's not good. I think people are so bent out of shape that this is different. And I think we can celebrate a lot of the difference. And like I said, it only made me appreciate the Michael Landon version even more after watching this and enjoying this so much, because they're so drastically different. You can, it's hard to even compare the two because they're so different. So that was my experience. Hopefully that's your experience too, everybody. And I'm sure we'll be talking way more about all of this. In the meantime, Allison, enjoy your
Yes,
new
Allison, again,
Netflix
congratulations to
stardom.
you.
I had so much fun.
Dean, who knows? Maybe you've already shot a scene.
I
and you
know.
just
I
haven't
can tell
told
you, I
me.
absolutely have not, and I don't know that there are going to be. I mean, look, I don't know if there are going to be
others.
any more little Easter eggs.
We don't know, but he could totally be lying right now.
He
because
could be.
I did.
He's lying. I know. Now I don't trust any of you.
You have no idea. You never.
We'll just have to
know.
see.
You
They're
never know.
filming right now for next year,
know.
so who
I know. Who
knows?
knows?
Maybe Mrs. Whipple will pop up out of nowhere.
Right.
Anyway, that's our show for today. Join us on Patreon, like I said. Also, if you join us on Patreon, you get the show a day in advance and without any commercials. So that's all for you. Yet another reason to join Patreon. And you can see what we're all up to on Little House 50 Podcast on our socials, thelittlehouse50podcast.com. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Bob, get the wig, let's fly! With Mr. Edwards, who's a hottie. I'm sorry, but the Osage Native Americans are hotties too. They're all hotties.
Way hot.
One of them looks like Rob Lowe. Just
So many
saying.
hotties.
Just
So
saying.
little